guys. Squeaky chair's back. It's always fun. Well, I'm going to apologize because I kind of feel like crap. I'm not sure if I have COVID or not. My wife had it a few weeks ago and had very similar symptoms, and I don't know, I don't take COVID tests, so it is what it is if I have it. But it's Sunday afternoon. I honestly stayed inside on the couch all day yesterday, and today I spent some time on the computer, paid some bills, took care of some odds and ends, things I'd been needing to do, some chores inside the house, cleaned some bathrooms, and man, I'm just fighting the energy to try to get out and do something. And I'm waiting on some parts on some of my projects. Got a few odds and ends I could do though, so I'm going to take you along with me. And you might find this really boring. It might be one of the most boring videos I've ever put out. I don't know. But I got a couple little projects I'm going to, may or may not even complete them, to be honest with you. But this is going to be a little bit of a mixed bag, and I'm going to pitter-patter around a little bit and take my time, and we get done what we get done, and I'll take you along with me. So. All right, well, I moved off camera because it ended up taking a whole lot of force with my big crescent to get this thing apart. But once we spun that off, you know, the body just sits over an O-ring like that, O-ring there. We took just the head, the force end off of the cylinder, and then there's the ram itself. So there's a series of O-rings I'm going to replace. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you, which one was leaking. But we got it apart, so we're going to see if we can't find all of these. This one's a little odd. It's in I think it's in some sort of a plastic sleeve, so I'm trying not to damage this too much, just in case I can't get it. It's not cooperating with me very well. There we go. Okay, so there's one. That little plastic sleeve we'll reuse, so we'll just set that down. And then we've got one down here in the base. Wipe all these off. We've got one that should basically be the same size, but we'll get another one just in case. And the reason I'm doing this myself, guys, is I did try to drop this off to my hydraulic guy, but my guys that do hydraulic work, so they just don't work on floor jacks anymore, basically. There's a lot of people, by the time they get the bill and they realize they just paid $100 or more to rebuild the cylinder on a jack that cost them $160, and they deal with customer service issues because of it, so they'd rather just not be involved, and I don't blame them. But this jack is not a $160 jack. This is it's either a 3.5 or 4 ton, and I replaced it already at work. But this is a little bit better brand. It's still not crazy high quality, but it was a $400 replacement. So there's that one out. So it's worth my time to take this apart at $400 to get some O-rings, and we'll get her all fixed up. So there's top, bottom, and then the bottom of the ram. And we'll get these this week. They actually don't look half bad, but that one's a little deformed. So we'll replace them one way or the other. and get this thing put back together, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, well, there's another little project. So this is, I mean, it's kind of confusing because there's a 3500 HD axle that I have, front axle I have perched up here on these pallets, but I've also got the axle out of my International S-Series school bus that I kept. Part of the reason I bought the whole bus. So I've already measured the Loadstar. It has a 32-inch spacing from center of spring to center of spring. This is around about 35. So the difference is just how the hangers, about 34 3/4 actually. The difference is how the hangers go, whether they push it inside the frame rails or out. 34-inch frame rails on both vehicles, but regardless, it's not accurate. So the idea of making an adapter plate to get, so basically a piece of, let's say, 1/2-inch steel that would have that would sit generally here, and it would have a pin to center here sticking out of it. A bolt head obviously is what it would be, and then we would also then use an annular bit and drill a hole where I need the new location to be. That would be fine, especially on my truck, because it sits really low in the front. So I would not mind at all raising it up, let's say 1/2 inch. So that's pretty easy to do. We just I just have I don't even have to cut it, honestly. I would have my steel company cut that, pre-cut to whatever I need it to be. Then all I do is drill a couple holes, one for the bolt and one for the new hole to receive, and then that way we still locate our axle with a pin, and we're not relying completely on the U-bolts. The U-bolts are the issue, however, because these holes will not be, get that one out of the way, or not. These holes will not be in the right location. So what we'll have to do is figure out where those holes need to be, and we'll have to drill some new ones. But regardless, we've got plenty of pad on this axle. We come over, you can see from where the existing U-bolt holes are, we've got another 2.5 inches anyway, maybe 3 inches. So we've got plenty of flat pad space, and it's all flat underneath here on both sides, so that we can drill those holes and we don't have any kind of clearance issues. So the other hurdle will be just how my drag link lines up. It lines up, I think, really well in terms of, if this axle were straight, if the hubs weren't turned, it would be centered on the axle. That's right where it is on the Loadstar. So honestly, we won't know until we get it hooked up whether we need to adapt this tie rod end, or I'm sorry, drag link to, I'm sorry, not the drag link, but the pitman arm. If we need to adapt this pitman to the other pitman, when you do some welding, the chances that it just bolts right in with the right size pin is slim to none, but you never know. We might get lucky. So that's just going to have to be on the truck once we get it under there. But this will allow me to have a braked front axle. Currently that truck does not, and it's not as simple as just swapping over the hubs. Nothing's remotely the same from a 67 to an 88. This is just heavier for one, but it's just a lot different. So I'm going to lose the look that I like of the dished 6 spokes, but it is what it is. We'll go to these heavier 5 spokes on the Daytons, and yeah, that's what we'll do. Probably put some new brake cans on her, and obviously some new airlines, and we'll be in business. So one way or the other, we know that works. All right, another project down. Someday we'll get this out and actually do some work, but at least we know we can make it work and what we got to do to do so. All right, guys, well, my tripod doesn't go high enough, but here's my next little baby project. So you can see I have my blind spot mirror on my driver's door. I had it up quite a ways, and the reason that was is because I was using it to see, man, I like to see when there's smoke coming out of the stacks. I know it's childish, but I'm okay with that. So, but I also like to use my blind spot mirror for checking blind spots, right? So what I've done is I bought another one. This one's a little smaller. This is a 6-inch instead of an 8, I think. Yeah. But just the standard, nice same quality, same brand. Not the cheapie. It's not on Amazon. That's from the truck store. So I'm going to mount that on the stud a little higher up, and that way we can have both. Fun stuff. Oh, perfect. Perfect. That is exactly what we want. All right, so I'm just gonna, I brought, all the wrenches. I'm gonna make sure we're snug down. There we go. Hey guys, well, I hope, I definitely realize right now I did not bring, I think, quite all the right tools, but we'll see. A great day to do this because the truck's been sitting and it is basically out of air. So, good timing. Get these push-delete connectors undone. I'm gonna try to reel gently. Do what I shouldn't do. Yeah, we're gonna stop doing that. There we go. Not what I was hoping to undo. Sorry if my fat head is completely in the way. There we go. Managed to not even mar up the stick. Okay, so as you can see, there's the old shifter. It's loose. It's not the most ergonomic in the world. The shift pattern's long gone. This one, being a Dorman, it doesn't have a shift pattern. I think I can get it. I couldn't quite find the right medallion. I may use one from a 13 speed though, because a 13 is, has the same holes as this 9-speed. I just don't have the the extra high-low on the other 4 gear, my top 4 gears. So I've still got low down here, I've still got high-low reverse up here, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. How does it read? Low. Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't call it 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 forward gears plus low makes it a 9-speed. So anyway, if I can find a medallion, I might eventually change it to a 13-speed medallion. But for now, this is going to look just fine. So trick now is we've got to make sure we get these in the right location. And looks like they're labeled exactly the same. As long as I get that fitting back into P, And then if we turn over here, we've got S and we've got S. Obviously, if this were a 13 speed, we would use that additional port down there, but she's not. So yeah, let's get these changed over. All right, well, through the magic of television, you guys will never know that happened, but I drove across the street and made sure I had some Teflon on there, and we got everything switched over. So we're gonna, before I forget about it and it's too late, we're gonna drop our sleeve down. We already know which line goes where because it's directional. We're gonna get this threaded right on here. Oh, I'm gonna love this. Get that snug. That snug there. Oh man. Guys, that is gonna be awesome. Sweet. Okay. After that, it's as simple as getting the old push the leaks put back in. Hopefully without kinking them. There we go. Just want to give that one a little snug up. Make sure she's seated all the way. Yep, she's seated. Okay. Then all we have left is I got the old Torx bit and the two little, put one in the old mouth to hold it, and then I'll slide that sleeve up. That one. Okay. Well, boys, I think that's it. Oh, that is sweet. That feels so much better. Looks so much better too. Proper. All right, guys, well, put you in a little different spot here, but I just could not abide by that being down there. So I did a thing. I made a bracket. Those little piece of aluminum I had sitting around, drilled it out. So we got through bolts to the plastic bracket, and then we got through bolts into the fiberglass or whatever the heck that is. Use my head for a minute here. There. Ta-da. Much better. Still out of the way. We can still get in and work. Protected by the cowl. Much, much better. Okay, so we're wired. Hopefully that doesn't kink. Just gotta coax it the other way. We're wired. Well, we're not wired. We're loomed. Up, around, down, and you can't see it, but into the firewall. We're reconnected. I snipped off this one, which is slowly draining out the reservoir in the cab. No, that's okay. We'll let it do that. We are reconnected. It's loomed into that loom. So it's ready to pump once the wires tell it to pump. In order for that to happen, we gotta get in here and unfortunately, I got to get this dash apart. And then I got to decide what switch I want to use. So I've got a momentary there I could use. And then I have an unused switch here. It's the last unused switch I have. And who knows what I might want to add. And that one's not a momentary. So I think this is actually a dual acting switch. But being that it's a momentary, it's what we want. So we'll make that, I don't know if it's going to be up or down, but regardless, we'll make that work. Let's get after it. All right, guys. Well, to close it out, the washers don't work. Well, I mean, they do. We got some kind of blockage. I don't really know why. It might be paint in the nozzle. You can kind of see it. Yeah, you can't. That shiny thing right there, that's a nozzle tube coming up. And I'm tired, but it pumps. It runs. I don't want to turn it on because all you hear is the buzzer, but the switch works. She's wired. She's loomed. I cut out some nasty portions of the old hose. I can blow through it one way, but not the other. So we'll deal with that. But it's another little mini project for another day. But regardless, you know, we got a few things done, right? We measured for an axle. We took a jack cylinder apart. We got a sweet little shifter installed, and we ended up installing basically the whole power washer system. Now we can get that thing out of there, and I'll leave that bracket. That'll work awesome to mount the amp and or speaker. So I guess for a day where honestly I'm just not feeling it, we still got a good bit done, right? Right. So I'll take it. Short video. I apologize, it's not very good content. But sometimes you gotta pick away at the little things in life, right? It can't all be big projects every day. So, but regardless, we've got more of those coming. They'll be here. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all have a great week. Take care.